Hi everyone, so I just wanted to do a quick intro on this video because it's a bit different to usual. So this is actually my brother's bike I'm working on. He's just bought it but it's too high for him, so I'm putting a lowering kit on it.
I can do that for you, brother. That's only a little job.
I'll put the links in the description for the specialist tools that I used because there is a couple and it does make it a lot easier. Overall it took me about 2 actual nights after I got the right tools, so that's not too bad. I do want to reach out a little bit though because I absolutely love doing this and I can't do it often enough. But for those of you that know, there's not much money in flipping bikes like this because most of the bikes you get, they're stolen, recovered, and the fun of it is getting it back on the road and getting some more people on bikes on the road. So to be able to continue this, I would love to be able to build up a fan base and, you know, just get a bit more funding through the YouTube side of things. However, if it does help you, absolutely just give it a subscribe, a like, because this is why I'm getting this information out there, is to help people do it themselves. Yeah, but enjoy the video. Links are going to be in the description once we've done, but enjoy it and hopefully it will help one of you lot. So what I have just done there is I have removed the nut from here for the rear end of the suspension and taken it off the other side of this one here for the upper suspension. Now I'm going to remove them and try and fish this out, maybe even through this gap, we'll see, but obviously the back wheel will drop. And then we'll crack on. It is on the centre stand, so the back wheel actually has a bit of space to drop. You won't believe it, but sometimes I plan ahead. Yeah. Kind of surprising. Before I forget to tell you, I did also have to take off the top of the dampener adjuster, the preload adjuster, which was just bolted in here. So yeah, take that off as well. And here we have the object in question. So we need to take this end off and replace it with this. Okay, so let's grab this at least. Alright, so now I've got this sort of clamped down and the spring's tight. You can see up here there's actually a spanner on here, so you need to get a spanner on there to hold it tight so you can crack this loose, and that's what I'm going to do now, hopefully. So what I've done here is I've got the top part off by cracking that nut and using a pole to stick through the hole to crack that and undo that. Now I'm using the bearing puller to actually get the bearing out and then pull it into the new one. What else would it be, eh? Oh, it's fucking out. Yeah, boy. I have to get it back in the next one. Follow our next fucking trick.
Bit of fresh grease on it as well, obviously, to help pack it out and fit in a little bit easier. And then I'm going to fit the shock back into the bike the same way it came out. And I managed to actually do this without removing the back wheel, which was an absolute bonus.
Right, now really fucking awkwardly got that in. What I like to do is whack a bit of copper grease on this so it doesn't seize up or anything. Obviously that wouldn't be ideal in the middle of the suspension. So if I can line that up or down. Spin around until it will slide in. So we've got that partially in. I want to go the rest of the way. So that's that side in fully. Now I need to somehow get this front wheel up in the air a bit. Because obviously now it's in the lowest. Also sits in.
I realise you can't really see what I'm doing here, but I'm actually wedging the back wheel up a little bit higher just with a brick. It just helps the back suspension line up again so you can actually fit the pins through.
I can't line it perfectly first time. And that has now fed through that eyelet. So we are literally on the bolt the up part. Thank God, because this was harder than I thought it was going to be.
I can do that for you, brother. It's only a little job.
Silly bastard, am I? So that one actually is not
And this is actually where I realised I was putting the bolt in the wrong side of the bike. The bolt for the lower arm of the suspension is actually supposed to go in the right hand side, not the left. My bad.
Right, okay, so the last bit to do is to just raise these up through the risers 10mm. For that, I need them Allen keys that I've already thrown all over the joint. So hopefully, capture access to these. So if we crack this using an 8mm. And then down there, we have like maybe a 15mm. Gonna be another bloody 14 in it. For some reason this bike is obsessed with 14s. So 14 mils.
I got to loosening up all the fork bolts here, the fork clamp bolts, just to allow the forks to raise up. It was about 10mm each side, using the weight of the bike to just help me slide it up so I didn't have to get around the front and shimmy it. And then obviously from there, torqued up all the front clamp bolts as well.
Let's give you a quick measure using my amazing measuring technique. What else can I use instead? That looks like it comes up to 14 mil overall. Okay, and this one is exactly the same. So let's get the torque settings, torque it up. Tell my brother to come pick his fucking bike up, eh? What we're looking for here, torque settings, there we go. We've got rear shock absorber, upper and lower, we'll do that. Top yoke fork clamp bolts 23, bottom yoke fork clamp bolts 50. So we've got bottom yoke fork clamps 50, top yoke fork clamps 23, rear shock absorber upper 65 and lower 45. Get that done, eh? That's good. Upper 65. Yep. That one. 23. Bottom yoke at the front. 50. You bitch. Whatever.
Or just in the preload back to a nice sort of riding comfort, because I did loosen it all the way off whilst we were fitting it. Just before I put the panels back on, whacking the fuel pump back into place and the fuel filter, so it's not wobbling around and stuff afterwards. All that was left after that was to put the panels back on, whack the seat on. Job's a good one. Thanks for watching my disaster go right, and I hope it helps you if you're doing a similar job. Feel free to leave a like, comment, subscribe. Thanks for watching.